Don't just live for tomorrow, or just live in yesterday. Just be glad for all you have that's in today. And though you've come through many obstacles.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to Jujutsu Kaisen Episode 16. So we're here with another part of this four-parter. And last we left off, the first round of the exchange events had begun. And everybody's out to kill Itadori. As part of the orders from the principal of the Kyoto branch, all of the students from the branch have decided to go after Itadori, but there's some dissension even amongst them, as Todo wants Itadori all to himself. The others have kind of paired off against the others from the Tokyo branch, and it looks like we're about to get into some paired off matches between them. And I'm definitely excited to see where all of these characters continue to go and how these fights really stem out. I'm especially excited to see Maki's fight, because I've really grown to love Maki as a character. From even if we haven't seen a shit ton of stuff with her, I just really like her. I'm aboard the Maki hype train alongside Nopra. But yeah, it's like I'm excited to see that. I'm excited to see just everything as it goes down, because it left off at a point where it's like, oh yeah, shit's really about to start. So let's just get this going and hope for the best. When the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode. So, with that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So, this episode didn't give me the fight I wanted, but the fight we got was still fantastic. So this episode, we got a little bit of Itadori and Todo, with Todo even kind of giving Yuji some advice and training in a way. He wants Yuji to get stronger. He's clearly not trying to kill him at all. For some reason, he sees him as his best friend, which is stupid. But he's actually trying to help him get stronger, which is interesting. It fits within Todo's character, and it doesn't stop him from being a piece of shit. But it is interesting. We also get a small glimpse of some other characters in this, but the main meat of this episode is on Panda versus Mekamaru. And we finally get to learn about Panda. We finally get to really learn what Panda's deal is and get to find out all this information that we had been wondering. Because the biggest question had always obviously been, why is Panda there? What is Panda? Is Panda actually a panda or not? And if so, why can he talk? Why can he fight? Why does he have cursed energy? So many questions. Well, we find out in this episode, Panda is not a panda. Panda is a cursed corpse, a highly advanced, sentient cursed corpse with the ability to speak and form its own conscious thought, separate from its creator. Panda was created by the headmaster of the Tokyo branch, and unlike other cursed corpses, Panda ages. Panda ages and has, basically almost human-like life? How do I word this? It's a weird situation that you don't really think about. But Panda learns and trains and acts very human-like. But there's certain things that just don't make sense to him that humans do and whatnot. Because it doesn't come natural to him nonetheless. But yeah, he's a cursed corpse, highly advanced, and so much so that unlike most cursed corpses, which only have a single core, he has 3. And so far we've only seen 2, and that really does make me wonder if the sister core is the strongest. The Panda core is his basically standard core. It's the one that he's in most of the time, and it centers around balance. So there's not too much of anything going on at any time. It allows him to maintain the form presumably indefinitely. But then we also have the gorilla form, which is referred to in a way as his older brother. The gorilla form focuses more on strength and power, close hand-to-hand combat, and intense strength. The sister form we know nothing about. We don't know like what animal it might have as its theme. We don't know what it focuses on. We know nothing. And that really does make me think that that's going to come into play at some point in the future and is going to be the strongest of the 3 cores. Which, cool. That's something to look forward to. But we see that the changing the main core also causes Panda to change physical forms. Sort of a, typical shonen transformation, just in a different kind of way. We see Panda's normal form looks just like a regular panda, basically. The gorilla form changes to be more top-heavy, like gorillas tend to be, and have more of that shoulder-arm width and everything. Definitely more gorilla-looking. The face changes as well and all, but still maintains the kind of panda-like features, while changing it up to be noticeably different. And again, we don't know about the sister core. But his opponent in this match is Mechamaru. Mechamaru is the same kind of situation as Metal Knight from One Punch Man or Robot from Invincible. You have a person who is controlling a robotic body from a distance through whatever reasoning. In the case of Metal Knight, I think it was just a choice. With both Robot and Mechamaru, it's because he's too. They're both of them. They're too physically weak. They literally cannot do things on their own outside of receiving medical attention constantly. So they have to do it through a robotic body because they literally have no choice. But yeah, it's really, really interesting in that regard to see that be the case. We see that he's very strong and very defensive, has a bunch of different upgrades himself. And it seems like at a range he has more of a chance against Panda, but close up Panda is definitely the one with the advantage. So with Panda being able to close that gap, that's what gave him the win in the end. And we see that Mechamaru is not a bad guy either, and it's kind of pushing that in with the Kyoto students. We're seeing that Todo's not as bad as we initially thought. He still sucks. He's still terrible. But he's not as bad as could have been. Now we're seeing that Mechamaru is not that bad. That he's... Honestly, he just wants friends. Like, the dude just wants to connect with people. Like, we see how he reacts when he realizes that the others just are relying on him and all. And he's like, they're relying on me? And it's like, if he could blush, he would have right there. But yeah, I think that's what he wants. I think he wants to form connections, but he's afraid because of how he really looks in real life. So he acts through this robot, and he's kind of like put himself off from the others. He's cold-hearted because he doesn't feel worthy of that love and respect and everything. So it's really interesting. I wonder if we'll get more of that in the future at any point. And from this continuing on, I wonder how much we're going to get from the others, because we already know Miwa is very much good. She's the best of all of the Kyoto students. But are we going to see this kind of theme from the others as well? Are we going to see it from, hell, even Mai? Is Mai going to not be as bad as we think? Because Mai is definitely one of the worst. I hated Toto just more on a personal level, more than Mai. But in terms of, like, actual, like, character, I think Mai is worse. And then there's the other guy who I think is the worst of them, just period. Who, I can't remember his name, but he was the most accepting of the principal's orders to kill Itadori. And in fact, he seemed like he was completely on board with that kind of line of thinking in general. So I'm thinking that he's probably the worst of them, from what we can tell. But it looks like, based on how the episode ended, and how even that tiny little hint of the preview I saw there, because the Juju Stroll doesn't give like a warning before it cuts, it looks like we are going to be getting into the Miwa versus Maki fight, which I am so excited about. Like, that again, that was what I was hoping to see with this episode. And although we didn't get it, at least we got some good shit. We got, like, maybe a tiny portion of it in this episode. But it looks like we're going to actually get it next episode. The only thing is, this is making it so that all 4 of these parts are just for the first round of this exchange event. So it's like, they're really going into this, and I'm wondering how many episodes the second round is going to take. Because the second round's more like one-on-one battles, right? Like actual intentional battles. Because the point of this round is supposed to be taking out cursed spirits. But they kind of lost track of that a little bit. But I'm very much interested to see how this continues on. And in the meantime, I would like to hear your thoughts. So tell me in the comments below, what did you think of this episode of Jujutsu Kaisen? And thank you so much for tuning in. For now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.